star of a new soap opera involving Are You Gonna Actually Fight on Triller on October 4th. Let me bring in Teofimo Lopez Jr. Champ, you know I love you, but what the hell's going on?
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. These people from Triller, man, they got something up their sleeve. This is the thing that is kind of frustrating. You know, this is probably the 5th time that they're trying to move my date in my fight. I feel like this is too many times that they've changed the date. This is something that I've never experienced in my career of boxing. You know, I've always dealt with ESPN and the people from Top Rank.
Teofimo, from your vantage point, what exactly is causing the changes? I mean, I understand what the reasons are, like it conflicts with this sports game or another reason, but typically the promoter would sort of hammer that out up front. Like, from your vantage point, why does Triller keep running into these issues?
I think it's honestly just something that they're trying to find a way out, you know?
A way out of what?
And for whatever reason, that's on them.
Breaking news that Triller may be forced to forfeit Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos unification bout to DAZN, the second highest bidder, as Kambosos files legal action with the IBF. If you may wonder why, this fight have been postponed on 5 different occasions. Once because of Floyd Mayweather, second because of Teo COVID, third because Teo won't fight in Australia, then they postponed the fight again because Teo can't sell tickets, etc, 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 till Kambosos got fed up. I told you all on my previous video, which I'm gonna leave in the comment section below, that Triller wanted to move the fight again from October 3rd to October 16th. And as I stated in my video, Teo ended up agreeing to move the fight date yet again, since he cares more about his image, ticket sales, so on and so forth. However, I was highly uncertain if Kambosos was cool with that decision. And my gut feeling turned out to be correct, as George Kambosos refused to sign the contract to move the fight date yet again. But that ain't even the bad news, as the venue for October 3rd have been canceled. Therefore, George Kambosos wants 6-figure purse increase in order to sign the new contract to move the fight to October 16th. From what I was told, the number was around 300,000. However, Triller refused, since they didn't give Teo any money in order to move the fight date. So according to them, that's not fair. That's the political answer. The real answer is that Teo is gonna want the same, which that's how we got here today. After Kambosos rejected the new proposed date, he filed a legal action to the IBF in order to ban Triller from any future purse bids for breaching the contract, and calling for a declaration of purse bid, which will forfeit the fight to the second highest bidder of $3.5 million in DAZN. Nevertheless, here is what George Kambosos' legal team had to say. Quote, Triller has breached the contract, lied to the IBF about Mr. Kambosos' agreement to move the bout, and attempted to coerce Mr. Kambosos into executing an amendment that does not comply with the IBF rule 10.f.1, in that it does not specify a venue. In light of foregoing, Mr. Kambosos has no choice but to ask the IBF to declare that Triller has failed to comply with the contract and with the IBF rules governing championship contests. Triller should be declared in default under Rule 10.f.2 and should be buried from future purse bids for its egregious behavior. End of the quote. Wow, there's a lot of mess going on that Teo started. That's what happens when you do bad business. Teo had Triller believing he's the ASOD king. He's a superstar, so on and so forth. He's going to sell 2 million on pay-per-view. Then he ended up receiving a life check for only selling 2,000 tickets instead of 2 million pay-per-views. And that's after receiving 70% discount on the tickets. So it seems like Triller wants out of the fight, and Kambosos is not having them dragging him around, at least not anymore, especially when he has to travel to the US. See, this problem could have been solved 2 ways. Either by Teo keeping his word of fighting Kambosos in Australia, where Kambosos can actually sell tickets. Unlike Teo, Kambosos can actually sell tickets in his country. However, Teo can't in the United States. Or the second option was, if Teofimo Lopez did what he promised of fighting Devin Haney, then he wouldn't have had any of these problems. This is all karma for Teo. You don't lie and expect to sell tickets. The people aren't stupid. That's what Teofimo Lopez gets for lying, claiming he sent Devin Haney a contract, all this email talk, and now Devin Haney stands to make more than Teofimo Lopez and Kambosos combined together if Triller forfeit the fight to DAZN, who bid $3.5 million, which means Teo is only going to walk away with less than $2 million. That's half of what Devin Haney makes a fight. All of this fake disputed talk did not sell him a ticket. Teo should just stop talking now. Remember a couple weeks ago, he told Devin Haney, "I'ma come back and fight in November 6th. So if you want to fight me, then wait. Don't fight in November." First of all, there's 2 pay-per-views taking place on November 6th, Usman in the UFC and Canelo versus Caleb Plant. Then a couple weeks later, Crawford versus Porter. Therefore, how is Teo going to fight Devin Haney on pay-per-view in November? To make matter worse, Teo is supposed to fight Kambosos in October, which means he at least needs a month to rest. So how the heck he expect us to believe he's going to fight in November? A month right after October. And to put icing on the cake, the way things are going right now, Teo probably won't even fight in October 16th. Therefore, Devin Haney will get to fight twice, and he fought 3 times already before Teofimo Lopez gets even 1 fight in after beating Lomachenko against Kambosos. In other words, Devin Haney done made $8 to $9 million in that time span, while Teo made nada, not a single dime. And he might make 1.5, 1.6 fighting Kambosos now if it goes to DAZN. So the point here is, that's what ends up happening when you continue to lie. See, Teo, when he lies now, he's not even being logical. It doesn't even make sense. He's talking nonsense because his lies caught up to him. Nevertheless, we shall see what Triller and Kambosos do next, if they do come to an agreement or not. With that being stated, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
My goal is to fight twice this year before my son is born, and just move on from there.
Well, the story was supposed to be you're about to get rich, biatch, and that was, that was commendable. We were excited for you to take the stand, get the fight, the purse bid on Triller, all of that. I'm not trying to keep my finger in the sore, but I just wanted to close this by saying, do you regret this decision and this happening at all, or is it the money's still so good? We got, let's push this through.
No. Triller, the list could go on and on. DAZN. I mean, there's so many guys, and I know that I bring all that to the platform. And right here, just alone, thanks to Triller, this right here will set the tone because my fight will be main event. And if we can hit 2 million pay-per-view buys, right there alone, it's like I'm on the cusp of becoming a pay-per-view star. So okay. I feel like at this point it's gonna come to a point. Mark my words, when it comes to Triller, May 29th, when I fight against George Kambosos on pay-per-view, when we get those numbers up, I guarantee you, when we hit like 2 million buys or up, I guarantee you, when that comes, all those fighters, all those 3 queens are gonna want to fight me for the biggest payday.
What did you make of Floyd Mayweather saying that if you and Tank fought, Tank's the A side?
Collected all the belts, and you saying that I'm gonna be the B side? Oh, you crazy, man! You're crazy. It's not gonna happen. I think Mayweather is still trying to stay relevant, and I think that Floyd is crazy for him to think that this guy will be A side. It's ridiculous, and that's the problem though. That's where it's gonna make a difficult fight happen with myself and Tank Davis because of that. Because we know deep down, the undisputed lightweight champion, I earned the crown.